Hi guys, welcome back to the Yute Room, the Yute Room Podcast. We have our host. My name is Cole.
I'm Zeke.
And I'm JJ.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm Alex. Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. So our first topic we're gonna be doing today is confidence and motivation. It's either you got it or you don't, right? So that's the question. So our icebreaker, before we get into that, we're gonna do our icebreaker. So we're gonna go around the room like the same way we just did. How did you take care of your mental health this week?
So I'm gonna start us off, I guess. This week, I started reading a lot of books. Actually, deactivated my social media. I said I just want to take a little break, right? So I got a lot of books on my phone right now, and I've just been going through them. So that's just how I've been like unplugging this week for. How about you, JJ?
To be honest with you, I haven't been busy.
I hear that.
I've been busy every day, so like,
That's
real. Like,
I haven't really taken that time to do anything for my mental health. So that's just me, really.
So I have a question for you. So what do you think you can do to like take a break and like detach so you don't get overstimulated and overwhelmed?
Yeah, the week isn't over yet, so you got like what? 1 more day, 2 more days?
Yeah. Honestly, I do a lot of time consuming stuff, so it's kind of like maybe like taking like an hour for myself, like 30 minutes to myself, but I'm not like go.
That's lovely. What about you?
me personally, I try and do this like at least once or twice a week. But at the beginning of the week, my girlfriend and I we just had like a conversation where it's like you kind of just stop everything, and it's like really just ask like, yo, what's on your mind? Like, what's bothering you? Like, how you feeling? And then you just take that time to just like, walk through it. Because like as JJ was saying, like when you do so many things, you just forget and you just go on autopilot, and then you forgot the amount of things you went through in the week. So when you take the time to just shut everything off and just ask, like, hey, what's bothering you? Has anything bothered you do this week? This, that, and the third, and then you just go through that. But yeah, that's what I did. And some retail therapy because it's important.
That's great. That's great.
It's important stuff.
Everyone did good answers. I'll do my answers. So what I do, I love to meditate. I get really stressed out really quickly, really easily, and then I find like the best way to do is just meditate, go on YouTube, or take like 5 to 10 deep breaths, close your eyes, and then it'll reset your body, and it's neutralized and it's all calm, and just so you're able to think and everything just clearly.
Nah, that's true, and I bet it helps you get in the zone too as well.
Yeah, most definitely. It helped me focus, and I could tell when you meditate for a long time, you can tell when you don't meditate, your body just feels like off. You feel like you're missing something. So you can tell it's very key.
Oh, it's true. It's true. When it was like the guy from last week we had on our guest, he was talking about the physical implications of stress on your body, and like just talking about how guys we have the tendency to hold in our stress, right? So like just doing whatever you have to do. We all had a theme here of unplugging and really just focusing on what really matters, whether it be the people around you or the task at hand, or maybe just taking some time for yourself. So that's what I was really seeing from everyone as they're sharing, and it's a great thing, honestly. It's a great thing.
Yeah, everyone, great answers. I love that. So our first discussion point is, what is confidence? What does that look like? So everyone just go from there.
Well, actually, before we start talking about our confidence, I know we have a confident guy here as well. I want to know if we could learn a little bit more about you as well.
Well, hi guys. My name is Alex. Alexander. I used to be called Alexander, kind of. Because like people have been calling me Alex for so long and I forgot my name is Alexander. But anyways, I'm babbing. 24 years old. I recently graduated from York with my degree in social work.
Big up York.
Currently working at the Jane and Finch Community Center as I have a youth mental health program, which is called Get Connected, which basically consists of youth anywhere from 13 to 29. And what we do is we run programs on just kind of destigmatizing what mental health means, because I feel like in the Black community, especially with boys, where it's like you say mental health and then automatically they think, oh, what the heck, I'm not crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
and it's like, bro, no, first of all, we all like have mental health, right? So just kind of destigmatizing what they've been taught kind of like their whole life. And then we offer mentorship, one-to-one counseling, and every now and then we'll have fun in them, but and then also I am also a youth employment worker at the space, so with the same age range, 13 to 29, just kind of helping them with resume writing, interview skills, and just if there's any job opportunities that come my way, just obviously letting them know about it. But yeah, that's what I do for work. Can I keep going? I feel like I'm
most definitely. Keep going.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I do for work. What I like to do in my free time, I am a Christian, a follower of Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. So,
love that.
Love going to church. I do a lot of church. Then on my free time, love sports. I haven't played all year though, because I tore my Achilles at the beginning of the year.
Right.
So yeah, it's been kind of rough, but it's all good. And then my down time, like to watch anime, but I haven't done that in a long time.
What type of anime for the anime fans out there?
You see, I don't like answering that question because like I always say like the basic animes, and everyone always be like, oh, okay, you're one of those. But Demon Slayer.
Ooh.
Demon Slayer.
That's popular.
Yeah. I'm on Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
RC, Naruto, that was what I started on. Me personally, it's slept on. Haiku, the volleyball one.
I have to go back and finish it.
It's a good one.
Yeah, exactly.
It was good.
The man slept on it.
Yeah.
What else is there? Blue Lock. I don't know if you guys watched that.
Nah, I haven't heard of that
I'm
one.
into that. It's a soccer one. It's pretty nice.
Cool.
And honestly, all the basic ones that like everyone watches, I've watched, but those are the ones I've been watching recently. So yeah.
Thank you for the
That's
introduction.
crazy,
Yeah. No worries, bro.
And yeah, just to throw it back to Cole's question, we see that from what you were saying that you're a busy man as well, and going through your day and everything like that, you might get tired, you might feel some type of way, but just throwing it back, what is confidence to you? Because even when you do feel like maybe you're at your ends wits, you know what I mean, you push throughout the day, you're tired, but you still have to stand tall and do what you have to do. So how would you define confidence?
Just to like keep things like basic and simple, because I don't like to overcomplicate things. I think confidence is just, being sure of yourself and the abilities that you have, and in a realistic way, just knowing what you're capable of doing, and knowing what you're capable of doing, and just being realistic and always being open to what's the word? Sorry.
New opportunities?
Opportunities, being open to other people's opinions, not being too like self-centered, but like just being sure of who you are and, your abilities. I don't know if I explained that well.
That's perfect.
That's right on.
That's perfect. I feel like confidence is like a very important part of how like we conduct ourselves throughout the world, because with confidence, it's with body language as well, how you sit, how you communicate to people, and like if you're a confident person, you're gonna treat someone with humble and respect compared to a person who has low confidence. So they're gonna put somebody down so they can fill their buck up, type of thing.
Yeah, we see that a lot today. Speaking to confidence, comparison, they say it's the thief of all joy. And like that affects, our confidence, or maybe I'll say the youth of today, if I'm wrong, right? Yeah. And I feel like if we were to just, be sure of ourselves, right? And as you guys are saying, we wouldn't have so much issue with being confident.
Nah, I was gonna ask on the whole confidence. Do you guys think there's a difference between being confident and having an ego?
Ooh.
Confidence and pride, eh?
Because having ego is you're truly just more confident in yourself than.
When talking about that, it's a bit of a tricky one because it's like a fine line between like confidence and like pride and ego and whatnot. But I feel like when it turns into pride is when it becomes like more arrogant and more like unrealistic, where it's like, let's say, for example, you're very confident. Let's say you're driving us somewhere and you're very confident, nah, I'm gonna get us there. And then you make the wrong turn and I say, yo, you made the wrong turn. You'd be like, no, what the heck? I know where I'm going, right? And then you're just wrong and strong, right? You were lost. But it's because like you weren't open to someone else's opinion, or like, you're just, it was a bit of arrogance where it's like, no, what the heck, I'm not taking anyone else's opinion. I'm not, like, I'm right, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, that's how I look at it. When it just becomes like more competition based, where it's like, no, sorry, I'm just using examples to make it easier, but it's like, I can say, oh, I'm confident in my singing, like I'm good at singing, versus someone who's prideful is like, yeah, I'm better than all you guys at singing, right? And it's like opening up that room of competition where like that's not what confidence is about, right? So I don't know. That's my take on it. If you guys can bounce off on that. Yeah.
That's a very good take. I agree with that as well. I feel like that's a good question you asked, JJ, because confidence and ego, it could collide depending how it goes, because you could be very confident, know you're very well, but then the ego could kick in, and then that could mess up everything you work for. So for example would be I'm DJing. I'm a DJ, so I have an event coming up, and then I'm very confident about the performance, but I do not practice. So if I go and practice, so I just go up without practicing, be like, oh, I got this, and then I'm messing up, I'm making little mistakes. You're overly confident, and it's your ego saying, oh, since you did ABC, and you did very well, and you practice, you don't have to practice this time, because look at the other things you did before that. So I feel like that's a comparison between confidence and then ego as well.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's true.
I know you said you're a sports fan, as you said. What sport do you like?
Main sport. I watch every sport, but main sport soccer.
Soccer.
Yeah.
Okay. On the terms of ego, do you think a lot of sports players I see have an ego, depending on who they are? Some players think they're better than everyone else, obviously. Do you think that could be detrimental to their game, or do you think that adds to their kind of persona?
That's a good question.
Great question.
Yeah.
It's a good question. That's a very good question. But in terms of like sports, I don't know. I feel like sometimes we mix up what it means to like have an ego, or like you are just confident. Like JJ's example, where it's like, if it's an ego and it's like, bro, I'm not practicing, I don't care. But like, I don't care, I've been doing this, right? But you see a lot of these players, they put in as much work as like, they talk about how good they are, right?
Yeah.
And but sometimes it is detrimental. So I guess in that terms it is ego, because there's some where it's like, it's to a point, let's say if it's a team game, it's to a point where they don't believe in teamwork anymore, right? And then now you're just bringing down the whole ship, and everyone's going down just because you feel like you're too good for anyone else. So yeah, so someone else jump in, because that was a very good question.
Well, honestly, and I was just gonna say, I guess the difference between pride and confidence is just a focus on self, right? It's like when you become so self-centered and you become egotistical, right? Ego, you end up losing, sight of what's important. You just end up, crashing and burning, right? Especially in sports, because showmanship is necessary, for the game, right? And some people may say you're being prideful, you're being disrespectful, but in the end, you're passionate, right? And how else are you gonna show your passion, right? If you're, hiding it inside, that might affect your game, right? Negatively, right? So it's a good question, honestly.
I feel like a good example would be like Kobe Bryant, in a sense, because he's very confident with himself, and he put in that work, and then he backs it up. And then he does that all the time, and then he wants to take the last shot. But I feel like if a person was not like Kobe Bryant, he talks all this stuff and he's not backing it up, and then he wants to take the last shot just for the cameras, just for the blogs, just to say, oh, I got the last shot and I hit the buzzer. Not just for pride, just for your self-ego, not for the betterment of the team.
Yeah, honestly, I guess we really hit that one hard, like showing the difference between confidence and pride.
So, the next topic we have here is, can two confident people coexist? And like, what would that look like?
I guess I'll go first, but to see my little piece. But I feel like, I feel like that's how it's supposed to be. Where, like the issue is when can two like prideful people exist. That's when it becomes a competition thing. Because like confidence, like Zeke said, it's about yourself, right? So if you're confident of who you are, confident of what you're capable of doing, like, and staying in your own lane, focusing on yourself, someone else beside you that's also confident, it's not an issue. I feel like that's how things are supposed to be.
Literally.
Yeah.
If you take that analogy you said, if you're staying in your own lane, how are you supposed to bump into someone else, right? It's not only when you start jumping over the fence trying to, run someone else's race that you collide.
Yeah, I think we're like where people usually collide is when they're not open to anyone else's opinions, or if they don't agree on something. They don't agree on, I don't know, say it's their partner. They don't agree on their partner's view. That's when they can't coexist. And I believe that's when they can't coexist, because then it's just two people fighting for two different things.
Yeah, especially if it's something non-negotiable or something.
Most definitely. I feel like two people can coexist. I like to read a lot of books. So I was reading like this Netflix book, like how Netflix builds an organization. And one thing they're saying, for something to be successful, you have to have a goal, and everyone has to be working towards that one goal. So I feel like if you have one confident person and then one person who's unconfident, the confident person is going to be pushing them forward, and then the unconfident person could be like setting them back. So it's like setting them good ideas. So for example, if one person says, hey, I like this studio podcast, this is really good, this has an editor, this has videos, and the insecure person goes, I don't like it, and you ask them why, they can't tell you why. And then so I feel like just gonna that within itself is gonna create conflict.
Yeah. When as you're speaking, like I was just thinking where it's like when someone's confident in the idea and someone's not too confident in the idea, like you become like unequally yoked, right? So it's like I'm pulling all this weight and like you're pulling me back, and it's like we're not gonna go for it together. So I think it's ideal where two confident people are like coexisting, or just a group of confident people are together. Because once again, it's not competition, right? So
it's not. And like literally, as Cole was saying, by being unconfident, you can end up being a hindrance to your whole team, right? And you probably don't even want to do that. So I feel like being unconfident does more harm than good in the long run, of course, right?
Great conversation. So our next topic is so why do you think people end up feeling like unconfident? Like where does that come from? Where does it stem from? Do you feel like it's childhood issues?
A lot of things.
Yeah,
That's a big question.
There's
a lot of things.
There's a lot in that.
We could take time to unpack it like layer by layer.
I know last week we discussed how much social media has an impact on what people think, and people share stuff on social media and other people bash them, and they tend to hate. So I think in nowadays, because social media is such a big thing, social media definitely plays a big part in hindering on people's confidence. Obviously there's friends as well. I mean, I don't know if you have any.
Like honestly, I would like to say everything you said, if not twice, because social media is like the biggest influence out there right now.
Most definitely.
If you look at what you see on Instagram stories, half the time, like let's just say I was on the bus, 80% of people are probably on their phones looking at your stories. That's all you see. That's all you take in. So it's like, I feel like it's impossible for it to not influence your self-image and I guess your confidence at some point, especially when you see your age mates, you know, from different places, of course, right? Doing different things, right? Maybe you want to do those things that they're doing, right? And maybe just because the way life is, you can't do that right now, right? But if you're seeing it every day, it's gonna hurt you one way or another. You're gonna feel some type of way, whether we like to admit it or not, right? And that's just the reality of things. So social media for sure, and people around you, the people around you either make or break you. In the end, right? So it's either they're gonna be lifting you up or they're gonna be bringing you down. Like some days you might just be on your last legs. The friends around you, are they lifting you up or are they like, you know, letting you fall, right? And that's honestly the ultimate thing I believe when it comes to that.
I also think like there's some few. I was gonna say social media too, but I mean you guys already touched on that. But I feel like on like kind of like a deeper level, it would be something like trauma, right? Something like trauma has a big effect on your confidence. That's because true. If a traumatic event happened, you know, let's say for just using an example, you're confident in your driving. Let's say, God forbid, you get in an extreme car accident, right? That confidence won't be there anymore because every time you're behind that wheel, you're gonna be thinking of that accident. PTSD. Right? PTSD, all that kicks in where it's like, you know what, the last time I drove, this happened, so you drive, right? So like, and of course there's more traumatic events than just getting in a car accident, but that was just for an example. So trauma, and then also, which kind of goes hand in hand, is like your upbringing, right? A lot of people, sadly, they're brought up where every idea they said was shot down. Every time they spoke, they were told to be quiet. You know, just in environments where it's just like, you know, it's not, you're supposed to be quiet and do nothing, right? So when you get older, that's all you know, right? So just because the way you're brought up, now it's like, oh, like, no, I'm not gonna say my opinion because like someone's gonna tell me to be quiet, or I'm not gonna bring up this idea because someone's gonna say it's a bad idea. And you'll be walking around like with low confidence just because, you know, the way you're brought up. So I feel like those two also kind of cause you to be less confident.
I hear that.
Most definitely. I feel like sometimes people don't realize they're unconfident through the like you're saying, like the traumas and like the way you're brought up in like your households. Because I feel like if you're not fostered, like you said, in the right environment, you're not going to be able to have that confidence. For like an example, I go to a school for social worker at Seneca, a social worker service, and they always talk about how environmental is so important as a kid. You don't realize how important the basic needs are, the shelter, the food, the nutrient, the love a person gets. So I feel like if you're missing some of those key elements, you're gonna have like a huge role, and like you're gonna go through life figuring like what's wrong with me, or just like how can I fix it without even realizing.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. And if I could just add to that,
Most definitely.
I feel like lack of exposure too is a key thing when it comes to confidence. Because you guys were talking about trauma environments, right? But what if like you're in a good household, right? But you never, for example, you never were on a podcast.
Yes.
So like the first day we're throwing you on a podcast.
It didn't go so well.
Calling me out, bro.
Nah, you're good. You're good.
No, but all jokes aside, like those little things, like let's just say never being on stage or never being
I was just about to say that.
like, you know what I mean, playing soccer or something like that. You know what I mean? Like the shock itself from the first experience may lead you to feel unconfident, and that's normal, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a first time for everything.
Yeah.
And I feel like if people understood that, they would be more likely to take that risk and expose themselves, right, to new things. Yeah.
I was even gonna mention it. You kind of mentioned it before. Where it's like, for example, you know, growing up in church, it's like you're always gonna do something. Whether it's they make you sing or they make you, you know, recite a Bible verse, so you present. Like, although you hated it at the time, or it's like, bro, like I can't sing. Like, why are you making me sing, auntie? But like, you know, that when you get older, it's like, oh, like I'm okay with doing stuff like this, because like when I was a kid, they'd always make me speak publicly, or they'd always make me do this, right? So just being exposed, like when you're much younger, kind of carries you, or like it follows you as you grow older, and that helps with your confidence. So
it's true.
Yeah.
Just to add on your point, I feel like it's important for exposure because it expands your mind. Like if you're seeing good and bad stuff, for example, like if you're like a fish, like an animal, and like a shark, if you're like a shark and you're swimming in the same environment, and then like that shark will not grow. But if you put it like in a bigger tank, bigger thing, it'll expand so much. So I feel like that as humans, if we're like aware of other ideas, we're able to expand our minds and grow positively.
Wow, that's so true. Your environment can only box you in or like allow you to grow.
Okay, so for our next question, our next question is comparisons over stimulation from social media. So comparisons over stimulation from social media, which you guys talked about a little bit before.
Oh, so like pretty much we're just about to, I guess, discuss the dangers of always being on social media and I guess how that affects your mind and your self-perception. Yeah.
I'm good. No, I was gonna say, I think like people nowadays compare themselves. They weigh too heavy their comparisons to their peers or people they see online. Because even I scroll through Instagram and I see 19-year-old billionaires doing this, that, and the third, and I'm thinking to myself like, how are they there? How are they there? And I'm here, like I'm in school and they're still there. But it's like a lot of them got lucky because it's all kind of crypto. But
It's booming right now.
But yeah, I feel like when people compare themselves, especially on social media, it's definitely gonna hinder on their confidence. You're gonna think that I have to do more, and then that more can weigh in your mental health because then you're doing too much to yourself and you're trying to like cope with everything. And I think comparing yourself to somebody else is very detrimental to your mental health, and that's just my opinion on it.
Yeah, that's really good. And I wish they taught us that in school, like on the first day. Like, don't compare yourself to the next person, because
in your lane, bro.
honestly, we'd be so better off without it.
Even in school, when like I feel like we've all gone to school. We've definitely all compared ourselves. Man's asking for grades this, grade that. I've definitely lied about a grade. Like,
of course.
My friends were like,
all the time.
I got an A+. I'm sitting there like looking at a C or something. I'm like, I got an A too.
Yeah. But I think with social media, I think we need to understand that it's not real. In the sense that every time someone's posting, they're posting something from like their best moments, or like so like if you look through someone's profile, it's everyone on their best day, right?
Yeah.
But that's not the human experience. So there's gonna be days that like you had the worst day, and it also doesn't help that you're looking and someone's posting, oh, I just bought a new Benz at 17 years old, or right? And then it's like a picture or a video can only say so much, where it's like we don't really know. Like if I make a video and say, just do, you know, this and this, and you'll be a millionaire, right? I don't know. You don't know that. I'm just saying it, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like sometimes we get so hooked on like because it's just something we see every day. So like we just think, oh my gosh, like this person, you know, because he traded this, he got $1 million. That he probably lied. Like we don't know.
Those
right?
videos are so bad because
That is
they be
crazy.
like getting people. Oh my goodness.
And it's like I feel like we become kind of like, you know, those aunties that on WhatsApp that believe everything. Yeah, that they say, right? And it's kind of what happened to us. We're like, this person he did this and he got $1 million. So me too. I'm gonna do that and I'll get $1 million. It's like we don't really know. So it's best to just focus on yourself and stay in your lane. But
I very agree. I feel like this ties into like everything we're talking about, from confidence to just having like the right perception about yourself in this social media. Because it's like you're gonna go on social media, you're gonna see people your age, like you guys touched on. For example, there's like this 19-year-old, I could be wrong, between 19 between 17, playing in the Euros for Spain.
oh yeah, he's 16. He's 16.
Yeah, so it's like, what the heck?
Yeah.
So imagine I'm 16-year-old and I see him. It's like, oh, what am I doing wrong? I'm training every day.
Yeah.
I'm doing this. I'm doing this. So it's like you could build up a resentment towards that person and you don't even know.
Crazy.
So it's just like, I feel like you just need to like you said, to stay in your own lane and just not watch like social media, because people have their own gifts. People have their own lane. So it's like, if it's gonna work for one person, it might not work for you, but it could at the same time. And this social media is just like, it's like a drug in a sense. It's like a dopamine. It's like it's to get a rush, and it's like the you get a likes. Like you get a likes from the picture, and it's like, oh, you want that again. So it's like, oh, that person got only 50 likes. I got 100 likes. I must be better than the other person. But maybe you just post it at a different time.
Literally.
Yeah, that used to be me low key. Like I was like, oh, how come I only got 70 likes?
Nah, I
this
think
person
we all
got
experienced
250
that
likes.
once.
And I'll be getting mad at the person. The person that got more likes, and it's like they didn't do anything. It's like, you know.
It is
But
what it is.
it's pretty sad.
Honest, but I feel like the I feel like you could look at it from that point of view, or you could look at it a point of view from this is what society is pushing at us every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And then in the sense that if you're not on Instagram, people are gonna be like, hey, you're weird.
Yeah.
So it's like you're almost forced to go with go with the group because you don't want to feel the outsider. And that goes in again with confidence and stuff. So our next question, or do you guys want to add to that? Are we cool with that, you guys?
Nah, I'm cool with that.
Cool. I feel like we touched on a lot of stuff there. So our next question is, have you ever felt unconfident, and like what do you do to change it?
That's a good question.
Yes, multiple times. But even recently, actually, for me, and it was in the sense of just like my job, where it's like I was in the field of social work. I don't know if you get, I don't know any, you know, social workers that are like, I don't know many that are black males, right? Even in my program, with the 4.5 years that I did, I think I met like 2, you know, that were black males, right?
Oh.
And it's just that lack of representation that kind of, you know, gets at my confidence, where it's like, okay, I'm starting this like position, I'm starting my career, but I don't know how this looks from someone like me doing it, right? And I was thinking about it, because it's like, you see, you know, sometimes everyone and their auntie wants to become a rapper, or everyone wants to like, they believe they're going to the NBA.
Yeah.
And it's
hoop dream.
Why? It's because they've seen so many people that look like them do it, right?
Yeah.
Like there's so many rappers that look like me. There's so many NBA players that look like me. So what makes you think I won't make it, right? So when, like in terms of me, when it comes to social work, where I'm like, wait, like, you know, I don't know any that look like me. So it's like, what do I do? How is it done? Am I doing this right? So even like in my field too, especially because I just kind of started like a little under a year, it's like, wait, am I doing this right? Always asking for, well, not asking for help isn't bad, but it's like, is this right? Is this right? Like I'm not confident in my ideas. I'm not confident in like sometimes the work I do, if I'm being quite honest, right? But you asked how do we stop that?
Yeah, how do we solve it? So how did you?
I'm in the process of that. I will say one thing is that being around like a good community, right? Or like having good people around you, like you shouldn't take that for granted, because you know, when I brought this up to other people, then they kind of uplift you, right? And just kind of let you know who you are, because sometimes you get so lost in the sauce where it's like you kind of forget.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you got the job, right? You got the job, you did the degree. So like, you know, we forget all the good things that we've done. So just being around good community, and also just doing it. Sometimes I just do it scared. Like I know
that's a good one.
It's a bad answer, but you know,
you make it sometimes. I feel
low
like.
key, like it's just
you make it.
I did it. Did I do it scared? Yeah, but like through those experiences, confidence starts to grow. But like I said, I'm in the process of that, so it's upward trending. So
I hear
that's
that.
good.
I hear that.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Honestly speaking, it's just like not giving in to what they say about you as well, right? They just say stereotypes, right? When you talked about representation, there's some things that are associated with black youth, maybe black men specifically, right? So maybe you'd be less likely to take a science major or like a social service, you know? Probably you want to do something with your hands, you know? Sometimes they want to, you know, minimize you, right? And also when you give into that narrative, right? It also affects your confidence, you know, whether you like it or not. So yeah, literally just do it scared, whether you believe in yourself or not. Just, you know, take the step there. You're in the room for a reason, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Yeah, what about you guys?
I mean, I don't know if you guys can agree, but I definitely felt unconfident when I first recorded my first podcast.
No, bro.
You're doing great, brother.
I think we can all kind of attest to this, that as you keep going and as you start and you do it and you do it over and over and over and again, it got better. The nerves are not there. I don't know. I know it's your first time on.
yeah.
Shaking it right now.
No.
Bro, and honestly, the first day, both our palms were steady. You're stuttering in the mic.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm in the same boat as you. Sorry to cut you off.
Nah, you good.
I'm in the same boat as you. It's my first time doing this. Kind of confident. I was kind of scared at the beginning, but then as I got into, it's just a conversation.
Yeah.
There's people, and it's like, oh, but the lights are on and it's recording. So that's that. For me, I feel it was the confidence. So like I told you guys, I DJ, and then every performance I'm very scared. Like I'm very like, it looked like I'm like, oh, he's cool. Like he's not saying much, but I'm like, I'm shaking. I'm scared. But once I start playing, it's like, okay, like I'm practicing. So I feel like repetition and like it just, the autopilot will kick in because like you're doing it so much times, and it's like, okay, you're so nervous. For me personally, I get so nervous. I forget people in the room, and I just start playing. And then it's like, oh, I'm doing it. And like once you realize you're doing it, it's like, okay, it's like swimming. It's like baby strides, and then big strides, and then it's like, oh, I'm in the deep end. And it's like I'm doing it, and it's like, okay, now I'm comfortable and I'm confident. So yeah, I feel like that's how I do it. Just repetition, like you guys keep saying, and then just put a brave face.
Yeah. And I don't know, to add, I don't know if this will go somewhere else, but like when it comes to being like not confident, especially like as a guy or quote unquote as a man, you kind of don't want to admit it.
Yeah,
because it's like as a man, you're supposed to be like always confident, always brave, always like, you know, big and tough, right? So like you being not confident or you being nervous, plus you not being able to like say it, kind of adds to it even more. So it's like now you're nervous and now you're anxious and now like you feel like everyone's talking about you. So it just, I don't know. I was just talking about like just the guy experience where it's like it sucks sometimes.
Yeah,
it's not easy
at all. Bro.
It's not.
No.
Cause I feel like from society standards, it's like we have to, like you said, we have to be the big macho guy. We have to be the leaders. We have to know everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Not everything, but I feel like we have to just know
everything, bro.
And if you don't know, it's like, what are you here for?
Exactly.
And then I feel like it's another cop. If you don't, you know what? Never mind. I don't know where we'll go with that point, but it's just like I feel like you just have to. I feel like you feel like you have to know everything. Like you're saying.
Yeah, honestly, and it's like so much to bear at that point, right? Like you're carrying such a big load. Everyone has such high expectations of you. Wherever you turn, it's like, you know, when do you get the chance to just sit down and, you know, just not worry about that? But I feel like we just need to, again, cultivate that environment as you're talking about, right? Where I guess it would be normal for one of your friends, you know, one of your bros to be like, oh, today I'm just not feeling it, right? And in that itself, being able to address your feelings and being able to solve the problem or getting some relief, that also builds your confidence in a sense. You know, saying, oh, whatever I'm feeling right now, it's not that bad, it's just temporary, it's just gonna go away, right? So
even to add on to your point, that like the friends, like having like a parent friend, I feel like it's very important because they can really make, like he said early in the podcast, they can really make or break your confidence. Because if you're like an aspiring artist, you're putting out art and you're putting your passion to it, and your friends say that sucks.
Yo, it's the biggest negative.
What are you doing? You're wasting your time. So now you're just looking into yourself. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm really wasting my time. What am I doing? But it's just like you have to have like a good support system. It's very important, I feel like.
That's true.
Yeah, honestly, and for those who are in high school, you always notice the quiet kids are usually like by themselves, right? And like that's also a bad thing, right? It's okay to be an introvert. It's okay to not talk, right? But do like your best to seek out relationships, right? You do need more than yourself to make it, whether you like it or not. Yeah.
And to touch on that point, it's a very good point because we saw that in the pandemic. We weren't allowed to talk to our friends, and then it's like that raised more mental health for people, especially. So I feel like, again, community is just very important.
Yeah, and also on that point, if you're in a bad community, don't be afraid to drop
Yeah.
your
You don't want to put yourself in that bad situation.
Yeah, knowingly.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Because that could take you in like such a wrong path, and like as a high school student, you just want to be fun. Like you don't really you're not looking towards like the next 10, 20 years. So I feel like if you're like going with a bad group of friends, you're having fun. Yeah, you could get attention from girls. Yeah, you could get attention from like everybody. But it's the right attention you want to get. You want to get the positive attention.
Yeah, it's definitely, sorry to cut you off, but it's definitely easier said than done.
For sure.
That one, I'll definitely say that because it's like high school, I'm just trying to be cool now.
Yes.
Like I'm not worried about.
You don't want to wait.
I'm trying to be cool now. I'm not worried about after high school. I'm worried about right now. And I don't know why, but for some reason, being cool relates to like negative things, right?
Yes.
And it's hard to get because I'm a kid. I don't want to be uncool if I don't want to be a good you, bro. That's what they say, which is crazy because it's like
crazy.
Why is it being good or doing things good? It's like it's shamed, right?
Yeah.
And like I don't know, this might be a stretch, but I feel like a lot of the time it's because being good or like doing that is shame because like the cool people, they aren't confident, in the good things. Like let's say, because it's like let's say I have a presentation to do, right? And then someone asks you did the presentation. What the heck? Why would you do that? I'm not doing it. And now my presentation that I worked so hard on, now I don't want to do it because it's not cool. The whole time the cool person, it's just because he's not confident. He doesn't have it. He's not done, right? So it's like, I don't know. It's
a great example.
Yeah. That's a really good example. It's like they're trying to bring you down with them, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what happens sometimes when people aren't confident or when they see that you're confident, right? It's like, because I feel like confidence, it's two things when you're around someone that's confident. It's either that it rubs off on you and it's like, oh, okay, like if you can do it, me too, I can do it. Or it's that if you, what the heck, what's different from me and him? Like, why is he doing that? And then now my goal is to bring you down because like, if I can't do it, none of us are doing it. Right?
Crab and bear
which is a
mentality.
crazy mindset to have, right? One way or another.
What do you call it? What,
Crab in a barrel. Yeah, crab in a barrel, crab in a bucket.
Yeah. It's crazy, bro.
Good conversation, guys. So next conversation. What are some good ways to boost our confidence? I know we talked about like, but I feel like we could add on to that. Like,
I think we need to touch on that for sure. Like, what are,
especially for high school students, because this is for the high school students like, from grade 9 and grade 12. I feel like it's very important for confidence. So like, how can we build that confidence up from an early age so we don't stray onto the wrong path, or we don't have, so we have the confidence to tell our friends, no, I have to study, or no, I can't do that type of thing.
Ooh, honestly speaking.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, just jumping on it. In high school, I guess when it comes to academics, I guess repetition is key, right? If you're not feeling confident in your studies, you just need to study, right? And you need to just be consistent in it, right? Because if you do everything, every day, John Morant said he laid a brick a day, right? Look at how aggressively and powerfully he plays, right? And he can only do that because he put in the practice, and no one can really refute him. No one can really discredit him for that. So honestly, I'll say work hard at what you're doing now because it does affect you. It's not the determining thing, but literally work at your studies because that gives you something to have confidence in. And when it comes to people, I guess, really just expose yourself. Sometimes you're gonna embarrass yourself. Sometimes you're gonna fall flat on your face, and it's okay, right? You'll get back up, and the next day you won't do the same thing again, right? So honestly, just go through it and have fun, be wise while you're doing it. That's what I would say there.
Very good.
I would say just kind of be confident in yourself and be confident in what you like doing, and don't let anyone make you feel like you're wrong for liking this or you like doing that. You like reading and they don't like reading, and they say reading sucks, but you like reading. So that means you shouldn't stop reading. You should just be confident in what you like, because I feel like if you are confident in your beliefs and you are confident in what you like to do, at the end, you're still going to be happy. And I feel like that's kind of the biggest thing towards building your confidence is being happy in what you're doing and being happy in who you are as yourself.
Those are great. And I also wanted to add, something it's seen as corny sometimes, but
it's okay.
When you're not confident, sometimes it's good to say, positive affirmations to yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Like it sounds corny, but it works,
true.
man. Like
it's true.
When I was in Washington, I'm like, yeah, you can do it, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
It works.
Psych yourself up in the mirror.
Yeah, it's silly, well, quote unquote silly, but it works. So stuff like that. Whether it's reading books on how to be more confident, whether it's watching those what do you call it? Inspirational, motivational videos. They work,
yeah,
bro.
That's how I watch it.
That's what I'm saying. It's not, they sound corny on like surface value or on the face value, but bro, these things work. And also going on to what you were saying, where it's just like, just staying in your lane and finding the right group. Because I feel like, especially in high school, it's, I feel the chases, we're all trying to be like this, the cool, like this one desired thing, right? And if that doesn't align with like what you like, how you look, and just who you are as a person, that kind of brings down your confidence. But it's like you have to understand that like, you were made this way. This is what you like. It's not bad to like what you like, right? So just find that niche, find the people that like that, rather than trying to fit in and kind of have to like strip off the clothes of the things that you like. Like, because I want to be cool, I'm going to give up drama. Like, I don't want to pursue my thing in drama because I want to be cool. Yeah. Right? And it's like, it doesn't work in the long run.
It's very true.
I think all four of us can agree with this. Back when we were younger, watching anime was not seemed as cool.
Listen. I'm gonna cut you off there because I literally I was on the other side. I was like, bro, you guys watch anime? Like, what's wrong with you guys, right?
And then you watched
and as soon as I graduated, I watched it. I had to apologize to everyone.
You're missing out, man.
I missed
bro.
out. That's really
those are because people like you, like the kids in high school, they made me stop watching anime.
Yeah.
And then I grew up and I got back into it, and I don't know why I stopped. I don't care about your opinion. I like watching it, so I'm gonna watch it.
Sorry to cut you off. That's a great point, because if you notice, like, stuff goes in trends. So I feel like what's the anime to stay on that point? I feel like it's a very good point, because if you like anime and like people just laugh at you, now imagine like you build all this collection up, and now you could be like, oh, I have all this anime collection, and now we could like start TikTok and just start posting videos. Yeah. But if you stop that and like you never like went down that because you don't want to be cool, now you're missing out your chance to be even more cool. Yeah. So I feel the thesis that we're all saying is just stick to being true to you, no matter what, because you can find your community. Yeah. You will always find your community. There's too many people on this world, bro.
That's exactly find them, 7 billion people on it.
Especially with social media, like you mentioned. Sorry, I cut you off, but it's like someone will find you. And that community gets built. But
I was gonna say, I may have lost some friends by watching anime in high school, but
they weren't your friends.
Yeah, I think like all four of us kind of just bonded on our animes we watched. Like you're gonna find your community. They're out there.
Yeah. I feel like it's just a matter of time, right? And it's just like, there's so much fear of being different, especially at that age. Like, you want to look like everybody, you want to sound like everybody, you want to talk like everybody. But in the end, when you start to, adopt to their behaviors and their thoughts, you're only hurting yourself, right? In the long run, right? Because sooner or later, you're going to go back and wish you never stopped doing what you're doing, right? So it's a tough thing, but something we all have to come to terms to, especially at a young age. Yeah. So now we're just going to, I guess.
I was going to put it out there. I was going to say, going based off your point where it's like sometimes when we drop things out of like, we're not confident or it's not quote unquote cool, then we wish that we had it. Because remember, Zeke, I had a YouTube channel, bro.
Yeah.
I had it. And it's
Mr.
like,
President.
Yeah, and it was just due to, I guess, lack of confidence. And then I didn't want to tell people I wasn't confident. I'll be like, I'm just busy, I can't get to it. But I only wish that like I held on to it, right? And who knows where it would have been now if I'd been consistent for like what? 6 years, I think.
6 years.
Who knows, right?
You never know. I feel like I touch on that point because before vlogging was cool, I used to walk around like grade 9, grade 10, like 2016, grade 9, grade 10 was those big fat cameras. And then you hear on the videos, why do you have that camera? Why do you have the camera? Why the camera? I feel like I was trying to be I want to be a YouTuber. I'm looking at For Y'all Entertainment. I'm looking at all these guys.
Entertainment, bro.
It's that first big YouTube. I'm like, I can do this. But I feel like I didn't have the confidence. And everyone's just like, hey, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? I'm like, maybe I shouldn't. But you never know. Where could that have been?
Exactly.
Yo, that's the thing. You never know. So why not start today, right? Because you're only building something that you don't know what it could become, right? And it can only, bless you in the end. And so you might as well. And as we're getting towards the end, like, what is one piece of advice you can give to our youth when it comes to being confident?
Ooh.
Like, just maybe a takeaway thing, like, or, a tip. Yeah.
I could go first. My thing is, believe in yourself no matter what. It doesn't matter what people are saying. Stay true to you, because if you stay true to you, you could create a whole new wave, and then people are going to start following you and looking at you as inspiration. So be that person for someone else.
Yo, that's so true. Yeah. And honestly, when it comes to being confident in front of people, 9 times out of 10, people don't know what you're thinking. So like, you also have to give yourself some grace and understand that they're human just like you, right? The person sitting beside you who you think is so great, they're human just like you. That doesn't take anything away from them, but that also means that you can sit beside them, you can be there, you can do whatever they're doing. Just talking about cameras, for instance, all the AV kids in high school, everyone made fun of them for running like shows. Like we had something called DYTV, right? I went to Deville, and people would say, "Oh, that show's not it, not that." But when we're all older, we're looking back at the videos. This was so cool, you know what I mean? Now we see what those guys are doing with the camera now. No one can tell them anything, right? So literally, as you were saying, just keep at it, and keep pushing.
For me, I've said this 1,000 times on this podcast, and I'm gonna die by this statement. Try not to compare yourself to anyone, because it will never end the way you want it to.
Facts.
That's sweet stuff.
Honestly, I was gonna just bounce off all you guys. What you're saying is just staying in your lane, and just trying to figure out who you are and just stick with that, right? And like, as you can see, all four of us, we all said it's all basically the same thing, right? It's not because it's not. Yes, it's a cliche, but this stuff is truth, it's right? True. And like, honestly, I had a book recommendation.
Okay.
I finished listening to it yesterday. But it's called, and I feel like this will be like every high school boy should read this, and it's called Boys Will Be Human by Justin Baldoni. I strongly recommend, like, even you guys should read it. Kind of, deconstruct what it means to be like a boy, and like, just letting boys know that, listen, this, preconceived notion of what it means to be a boy is not real, and it like kind of lets them know like the real human experience. So honestly, if I was in grade 9 and I read that, or if I was just in high school and I read that, things would have been different. So so I strongly recommend. It's really good. So
that's lovely.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's been great, like, talking to you. Thank you for having the time to show up on this podcast, and hopefully, we do see you again.
Hopefully, man. I'll be back. This is my first time, so let me come back, bro.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you for being on it.
Of course, man. I'll be fast.
Honestly. So guys, we're at the end of the podcast. Thank you for listening, and until next time.
Bye.